सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. Mahayogi Swami Umanand Saraswati ki jai. Yes, I know I am returning after a very long time. Um, I am quite busy. I was busy translating Ved, and the work is going on. But a few days ago, I received a question from one of my viewers. Um, how did I meet my guru? um, well, my guru is Mahayogi Umanand Saraswati. She was born in 1916 and 31st December, which becomes our annual day every year. I have been celebrating it since almost 1985, after Gurudev took Samadhi. And until today, we continue to celebrate 31st December as a most important day, her birth anniversary. And how did I meet her? Well, it's a long story, but I'd like to make it short because somebody has asked me, so I'll do it. I was a student in Bombay at KC College, and my mother's friend, that is my Gurudev, who was then named as Kusumtai Sharma. She lived very close to that college, opposite CCI club in Bombay. And my mother happened to be very attached to her. She had grown very attached to her. And both of them were from secretariat, like IAS officers' wives. And she would go to, my mother would go to Gurudev Kusumtai Sharma then for lessons on Jnaneshwari. Gurudev used to tell stories on, would promote Jnaneshwari, give discourses on Jnaneshwari. And that is my prime text also. So, and every time she would go, my mother would go, she had a lot of things to tell me. So one day, and since I was a spiritual attuned person, she decided to take me to Kusumtai Sharma. And well, somehow, I think I met, we met. But I had no clue that she was going to be my soul, heart, soul, guide, preceptor, God, philosopher, name it, and well, she was there. She was like my godmother. I think that was the most beautiful thing that ever happened to me, that I was introduced to my Gurudev Umanand Saraswati. I started going to her from college, since the college was just next door, and I was very fond of meditation. My Gurudev had a room, separate room for meditation, where she would retire. Every evening, late 6, she would retire, and then come out the next morning 6 a.m. From 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., Gurudev would be doing her sadhana. Mind you, I think Gurudev slept only for an hour or so. And I was there whenever, I would get a chance, a free lecture from college. I used to rush to her house, and I would knock at the door, and she would open the door and smile. She said, "Oh, so you've come again." And then I used to, since she was a good friend of my mother, I used to probably feel more privileged and special. And I thought I could sort of go to her whenever I wanted, uh, which I did. And she allowed me very sweetly. Very few probably must be sharing this personal affection as well as guidance, as well as perfect guidance, perfect molding at the hands of a guru. And yeah, then I started going on regular basis, and she would allow me to meditate in her room. She would say, "Go, the room is empty for you. You can go and meditate." And I would go and sit there, and I would meditate. And at that time, yes, I had only worked a lot on my meditation. I used to meditate for hours together. Um, well, and I had entered into a field where I would get experiences one after the other, one after the other. So I used to go to her room and sit. And she had a few photographs with her. One of them was her masters. There were two of them. Chinmayanand was her great philosopher, Chinmayanandji. He was her guru, second I think, and first one was Muktanand Baba. And both these photographs were there, and I used to sit and meditate before them. Now, I had various experiences here. I would like to tell a few of them. This was probably when I was just 18 or 19. Today I'm 72. But I was 18 and 19. So I used to get the experience here, the experiences I've got here. I would like to share some of them. I remember I had developed, as usual, a young girl has. I had all pimples all over my face, and I used to feel very disturbed about it. Most of the youngsters do. So I had gone there, and I was sitting and I kept meditating. And suddenly I realized that something was oozing out from my tongue. So first, of course, it was a strange feeling, and it was a strange feeling. And I was wondering, I have not eaten. I was trying to concentrate on what it could be, whether it was something I had eaten, bitten, or I don't know. I was a little. Rather, it got my attention, and after some time, I realized it was a little sort of a. I would call it like something like a insipid, must be a juice or some little. But then I was inspired to apply it on my cheeks, where there were pimples, and it was like intuition coming all together, and I don't know. I followed it. I just touched my tongue, and I rubbed a little bit of it on my cheeks, and to my surprise, the next day, the pimples had gone. I thought this was a very strange, miraculous experience. And then, of course, I used to go regularly. And the second experience which I used to have is during my meditation, sometimes Gurudev used to be just lying down or sitting on her cot, and she used to allow me to sit down and meditate. So sometimes in yoga, even in meditation, your body sort of revolves around. You're sitting with your laps like this, you tend to just keep going around and round as if you are on a pivot, and the legs folded. It's like a pivotal movement. You keep moving like a spinning top. You spin round and round, and it used to be very rigorous, and I used to go almost move around the entire cot as if I'm sort of taking you call it a pradakshina. I never used to realize because my eyes used to be totally locked and closed. Um, so I used to go round and round the entire cot on which used to be there. It used to be a small cot, but and then I used to go around and she used to say, "My God, how much you need to move." That was one experience. Then another one is, whenever I used to meditate, I used to say Omkar loudly. I used to sit and say Om. And one day she said, don't have to say it, you have to hear it. And well, my meditation started changing. The more and more I went to that room to do meditation in the presence of my Guru, the meditation started changing from one level to the other, from third level to the fourth. And it was a pleasure. I well, then of course, later experiences of mine were when, after this particular association with her, I remember I was, yes, I was to get married, and it was, I must have been about 20 or something, and when I was to get married, and Gurudev had given me as a gift, Muktanand, through the hands of Muktanand Baba, her Guru, she had given me Gnaneshwari and the original text. And Baba had given me some page, I remember, it was 4th chapter. I don't remember the couplet, but the 4th chapter is regarding Siddha. So probably it must be how to serve a Siddha or something similar. And that page was open to me, and Muktan Baba gave me that book in my hand, and as a gift for my marriage. And well, after that there was a huge gap of 10 years. The story of those 10 years, I don't think is needed for me to tell. Yes, part of it was absolutely beautiful, and part of it was not so beautiful. But well, that's life. And after almost 10 years, let's say, 10 years, yes, after 10 years, or more than, slightly more than that, I returned back to my Guru. And this was under new circumstances, and I had gone to her because early I had traced her phone. I had traced her telephone call. Since my mother was still in contact, I called her up, and she just called me and she says, "Hello." So I said, "Hello." And I knew it was her. And so I knew it was her. Well, then it was at Andheri that I met her after almost 10, 12 years. More than 12, 15 years. And well, she was seated there in her best of the grandeur, like a morning dawn sun, glistening away, glowing away to glory. She was very fair and very radiant, orange with orangish reddish complexion. And I saw her from a little distance, and I realized it that I used to be almost very good as a student, but the race I had become it was like a tortoise race, and I mean, I thought I was a hare, and I had taken a huge break eating grass. Here was my Gurudev had made to the top, and I'm so grateful to her that she accepted me again. And it was with such kind words that any egoistic reserves or fears which I could have had before going to her, they just faded away. They faded away. And it was so easily that I got blended in her new ashram, and I started visiting my ashram. And I got myself initiated again, and this time it was a very beautiful experience. When I went for initiation again, I said I would like to be initiated. So she said, "You were initiated, weren't you, by?" So I said, "No." I used to call her Gurudev. I used to say, "Gurudev, no, I want to be initiated again." Yes, I had entered into it. I had worked a lot on meditation. As I said, I used to work for about 6 to 8 hours of meditation I have done. uh, but then later, when I went to her, she said, "It's time you take up to studies." And I think she gave me the discipline of studies in my life. And she introduced to me a discipline like waking up on Brahma Muhurta, 3 to 6, and that became my. Uh, I think that was the reason, because I observed this waking up time, the Brahma Muhurta. I think I made a good journey. The journey was good for me. Now, when I went back to her, she initiated me again. And the first day when she initiated me, I had a very beautiful experience. There used to be her room which was called Bhairav Guha. Bhairav is Lord Shiva's name, and Guha is a cave. So, Bhairav Guha. And I was sitting outside next to Muktan Baba's Murti, idol, and Gurudev's room. There was a corridor to enter into Gurudev's room, and that little corridor has an entrance door. So I was sitting next to it, and I suddenly saw a beautiful light emerging out of the doors, the cracks, the creaks we call it, and the cracks, and the lowermost slit which is open, the door lower base. And from there I saw blue color spreading, and it soon covered the entire hall in which I was sitting. And the hall just vanished, and suddenly I saw the sky all around me. The experience is like that of Arjun. For him, the directions got lost when had appeared. Yes, for me also it was a Vishwarup, because I saw my Gurudev. She was on a Nandi, and she descended from the space above, and she was halfway. She was not, the Nandi had not come to the, yes.